Call of Duty may be a casual game, but there is usually at least some kind of skill required in order to do well. But if you don't feel like trying and you just want to drop 100 kills with zero effort, there are guns that you can use. What is up, everybody? Chaos here. Welcome to the page. Today, we're going to look at those no-skill weapons that, let's be real, let's be honest with each other, mostly only a certain type of player uses. So drop a like, let me know if you actually used any of these, Circle of Trust in the comment section as always. And at number 10, the M21 in Modern Warfare Remastered. Now the M21 was the original spam sniper in Call of Duty. If you hate seeing people sitting in a corner or at a head glitch with a semi-auto sniper, that trend started with this gun. I'm going to specifically put the Modern Warfare Remastered version on the list because the COD 4 community was never that bad with the spam. The M21 had a huge mag, had very low recoil, and it could kill with a single shot to the head with no stopping power. Made it a great choice for people who wanted to stay out of harm's way with a sniper rifle, but not actually get good at aiming. The MWR community also showed off how busted it could be in the Snipers Only playlist, where it somehow was never banned. So you'd be running around with an M48-3 or an R700 trying to be a decent person in life, and then you'd hear somebody on the other side of the map spraying the M21, and all of a sudden, you were dead. If you were the person spamming this gun in Modern Warfare Remastered, just know that we know. And speaking of spam snipers, moving right along to number 9, the RSASS in Modern Warfare 3. Who remembers the gun? Raise your hand. It wasn't a very powerful weapon if you weren't spamming it like crazy, but if you were, it was broken. It's almost like this gun was designed to be used by that certain person because it was basically the M21 again, but with more attachments and perks at your fingertips. The fire rate was insane. The recoil was low. It was a 2-shot kill to the body or a 1-shot kill to the head no matter the distance on the map. On bigger maps, people would just sit back. They'd look down the sight, spray away, getting easy kill streaks without actually using any skill. Also, if you were someone who liked to play the face-off playlist in Modern Warfare 3, you're probably very familiar with people using modded controllers and spraying you down with a rapid-fire RSASS from the very back corner of the map. Imagine paying money to cheat in Modern Warfare 3. Who would think? Before we move on, guys, if you get anything from G2A, use code CHAOS for some cash back. The link is at the top of the description. Now we move on to number 8, the bar. The bar in COD World War II. Now, this game had a lot of annoying weapons, but I think this one was the most hated in the community due to how obviously overpowered it was when the game came out. Full auto rifle, pretty solid fire rate as well as some very low recoil, some very super clean iron sights, and a 3-shot kill range that was way longer than it ever should have been. Now, when compared to other full auto weapons in COD World War II, the bar was way too good. It was way too versatile. It completely outclassed the other rifles and most of your SMGs, while also requiring virtually no skill from the user due to the extremely low recoil and the fast handling speeds. Now, Sledgehammer nerfed the bar a couple times in the first couple months of COD World War II, but even after it brought it down to be more balanced, its reputation as a skillless gun persisted, and I do not blame you for hating everyone you saw using it. But then again, can you really blame people for using it? I mean, really, it was that good. Next up, the BAL-27 in Advanced Warfare. Speaking of Sledgehammer, this is one of their most infamous blunders, and when you compare it to the World War II bar, it's the same thing. Much like the bar, the Advanced Warfare BAL was an assault rifle with great fire rates, hardly any recoil, and a time to kill that beat out most of the other weapons in the game. But where the BAL differed was the fact it was unlocked by default, thanks to Sledgehammer. Yeah, a whole bunch of variants that made it even better as well. It was broken on its own, but the variants made it ridiculous, and the fact that it was never fully nerfed, it amazes me. Yes, Sledgehammer patched it a couple times, but they never actually fixed the core problem, which was the damage and the laser-like accuracy. Advanced Warfare was even jokingly renamed Battle of Duty by the community. It's easy to see why. It was way too good. It sucked all the challenge out of the game. Why would you use a gun that was tougher to control when you could just spam the BAL? Why would you snipe when you could just use the BAL? Why would you use an SMG when you could just use the BAL? Seriously, it was a brainless weapon. Way too easy to use and completely dominant in Advanced Warfare. At number 6. The M16A4 in COD 4. The infamous weapon in COD history, the Melt Machine, the Broken Gun. It's another weapon where I really don't know how the developers didn't catch it before release, but they didn't. 3-round burst rifle, fired its shots at 900 rounds per minute. If you were using stopping power, you needed 2 bullets to connect in order to take somebody out, which, that's ridiculous. Way too easy to use for something this powerful. It had no recoil, huge default magazines, and pretty fast handling speeds for a weapon of its kind. It was actually nerfed at one point in COD 4's life cycle, it was, but I honestly can't really tell you what was done to it because it was busted after the nerf. It's been busted the entire time. Most of the time, burst weapons in COD require more precision or thought from the user in order to take advantage of its time to kill, but the M16, it checked all the boxes with zero consequence. It had an insane time to kill. It had laser-like accuracy, and you didn't even need to hit a full burst in order to kill somebody. Seriously, why was it allowed in the game? I don't know. At number 5 today, the Titan in Black Ops 4. I love the name. When Black Ops 4 came out, the Titan was one of the only guns you ever saw online, and I have no clue why it took Treyarch something like 5 months to nerf the weapon. An LMG that came with a 75-round default mag, it would kill in 4 shots to the body by default, 3 shots if you landed at least 1 headshot. Sounded pretty standard for an LMG, so where's the problem? Well, the Titan also had the handling speeds of an assault rifle. For what reason, I don't know. Hardly any recoil as well. Plus, the attachments that you could put on it could make it a 3-shot kill to the body from any distance. Made it hands down the most versatile and easy-to-use gun in this game. Now, I'm all for LMGs with high damage because normally the trade-off is slow handling or high recoil, but the Titan, nope, way too good. This was a gun with speed and control of a rifle, and the ridiculous damage of a top-tier LMG, plus it could shoot down kill streaks with just a few bullets. So there was literally no reason not to equip it. Treyarch eventually nerfed it, but for the longest time, it was one of the only guns you saw online because of how brainless of a weapon it was. Please don't tell me you were a Titan spammer. I don't want to hear it. At number 4 today, the STG in Vanguard. Yep, the STG-44. I don't know what it is with Sledgehammer and overpowered assault rifles. Every Sledgehammer COD so far has had at least one assault rifle that's been completely overpowered and way too easy to use. Modern Warfare 3, ACR. Advanced Warfare, BOW. COD World War II, BAR. Vanguard, the STG-44. Once again, starting rifle. The Vanguard STG was so obviously overpowered, it was hard to cut Sledgehammer any slack with this one, and I'm amazed it took so long for them to patch it up. It fired fast, it handled quickly, it barely kicked, and there were certain attachment combinations that made it a 2-shot kill. Seriously, how could it get through testing? And since it was the first gun you got your hands on, everybody was using it. I haven't played Vanguard in a long time, but I wouldn't be shocked at all if people were still spamming this gun if I logged on right now. Way too easy to use. Even if it wasn't completely busted, which it was going to be spammed. Here's a general rule of thumb. If a COD gun is going to be laser accurate, it has to have lower damage than the competition. Otherwise, it ends up busted. Case in point, the Vanguard STG. At number 3, the Akimbo Marshals in Black Ops Cold War. Now, the Marshal was a shotgun pistol added to Cold War a little ways into its life cycle, and while it initially didn't seem like it was going to be too game-breaking, in a few hours that changed. The gunsmith system allowed people to make some insane Akimbo Marshal builds. It completely removed skill from the experience, and Treyarch had to issue a number of nerfs. You could load it with incendiary shells, max out the range. You could instantly kill people from stupid distances, and since you were holding 2 of them at the same time, that meant you didn't even have to aim down the sights, which erased any possible skill you could have needed in order to use it. Now, the Akimbo Marshals were super obnoxious during their initial reign, and they reminded me of something else from Black Ops history. I'll give you guys about 5 seconds to guess what it is before we move on to number 2. At number 2, the Akimbo Marshals in Black Ops 3. Now, when it was announced that a shotgun pistol called the Marshal was being added to Black Ops Cold War, the Black Ops 3 players immediately knew what was coming. The storm was upon us. The Marshal 16 was one of the first DLC weapons added to Black Ops 3 back in the day, but unlike the Cold War version, this one was never nerfed. Ever. One Marshal 16 was bad enough. But in Akimbo form, they were broken. By running 2 Marshals, you had an insane insta-kill range, and it was all done through hipfire, so you didn't actually have to aim at your target. Plus, you had the handling speeds of a handgun, so you didn't have to worry about any movement penalties, and you had all the crazy specialist abilities to give you a constant get-out-of-jail-free card if you overcommitted to a fight. This Marshal, guess what? Locked behind supply drops, so most of the Black Ops 3 community never even got to use them, which just made them sting even more. The Black Ops 3 Marshals took absolutely 0 skill to use, and there's no way you're going to convince me otherwise. But if you know your COD history, you probably know that the number 1 pick has to belong at number 1. The 205 Brecci in Black Ops 3. I really don't want to talk about the gun anymore. I feel like I bring it up in every other negative list we do, but it's not really my fault, so here it is. It's not my fault that Treyarch put the gun in the game. It's not my fault that they somehow never nerfed it, and it's not my fault that it completely took over Black Ops 3's multiplayer once people figured out how broken it was. There was almost a gentleman's agreement in the Black Ops 3 community that nobody would use the Brecci at the start of a match, but if anybody pulled it out at any point, everybody else in the lobby would whip it out as well, at which point the match would devolve into the same exact firing sound being spammed across the entire map until the game ended. The Brecci sucked. It took zero skill to use, and honestly, don't even think about arguing with me on this one because you know I'm right. Everybody watching this video knows I'm right, and that's it. That's it. So there you go. Let me know one gun that deserved to be on this list, and I'll see you guys soon.